Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Hi, my name is Erin. If you are new here, welcome to my channel where I like to talk about all things beauty, as in makeup, skincare, entertainment, which includes movies and TV shows, and books as well. I've been throwing in some book content here and there, so if you're interested in any of those topics, then definitely stick on around. This is the place for you. Today we're going to be doing my top 25 shows of all time. This was very hard for me to do. I actually already filmed this video, but I left off one show, which I'll get to when I get to it, and I was like, no, I can't not have this show on there. So I expanded from 20 to 25, and here we are. I'm refilming this video. So just to let you know, that's what happened. Which you didn't know anything about that. I didn't have to say that, but I did. Just so, you know, fun little fact, I'm refilming this from 20 to 25 and adding on some shows. And so I'm very excited about this. I do have a lot of honorable mentions on this as well, so it's really even more than 25, honestly. I could probably do a top 100 shows, which I may do in the future sometime, and still probably leave off something that I liked a lot. And when I say of all time, I'm including shows from since I was a kid all the way up to fond memories of things that I have watched as a child. So you might see a lot of cartoons on this list. But I also watch a lot of foreign TV now, but I didn't want to put too many on this list as well because, I don't know, I just didn't put too many on here. I just picked like my top favorites from like certain countries. And then I have some honorable mentions, like I said. So let's go ahead and let me stop talking and blabbering. I'm not going to say too much about all of these because I don't want this video to be too long. Before we get into that though, I want to say I've used this palette today on my eyes in case anyone's interested. This is a Child's Play inspired palette. I used two of the shades today. It's all matte, so I used these two shades today. I'm going to be doing a something Child's Play video soon. I'm either going to do my favorite kills from the franchise or one-liners or characters, so be looking forward to that. If you want to see things related to horror movies, which I love here on my channel, then definitely subscribe so you don't miss that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the shows. All right, you guys, obviously I'm going to be starting with my honorable mentions. I'm going to start at the bottom of my list from 25 up after that, but to be clear, these shows are not very much ranked in any way. I love all of these to be considered some of the best of all time in my opinion. Of course, I'm going to have to like all of the movies listed here, but I will say my top three are definitely like my top three. Like those shows are shows that I've rewatched or that have a really strong feeling towards. So that's just to keep in mind. The top three are definitely like my top favorite, and then everything else is kind of not very much ranked, kind of loosely ranked more so. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the honorable mentions. I'm not going to go into too much about these shows unless there's something I need to say. So first off, I want to mention two of the shows that I watched very heavily at the beginning of my college years: Mad Men and Walking Dead. I watched those like as a freshman in, I want to know, Walking Dead I started in high school. Mad Men I started in freshman year of college. Both were two really good shows. One's more horror with zombies, Walking Dead obviously, and then Mad Men is like set in the 50, 60 or 60, 70 era. I also wanted to mention some newer ones. These ones might make it to my top 25 later on, but they are kind of newer series, so right now I don't have enough to put them in my top 25. I'm waiting for the rest of the series to come out. So the first one is The Servant on Apple TV, Britannia, which I just finished watching seasons 1 and 2 of, and The Witcher. I really did like season 1 of The Witcher and been waiting for season 2, but it has been delayed because of COVID. I also want to do two honorable mentions from my childhood: Rugrats and Powerpuff Girls, two I grew up with, loving, and me and my sisters watch those all the time. And actually Powerpuff Girls is about to get a makeup collab with ColourPop if you're interested in that. And then some older ones that I would watch with my family. These are like family shows that I would watch with them. The Cosby Show, which almost made it into my top 25, and it probably should have. The only thing with this is that it's kind of been tainted with the whole thing with Bill Cosby, obviously, unfortunately. But the show's still really good. Taking him out of it, it just kind of soils the whole show for me, but it's still a good show, and I grew up with that show. Like, me and my family watched that show a lot, so much. So I'm still wanted to put it on here, and definitely it's one that I've always loved. It's just really sad that it's kind of been tainted by the whole yeah. Proud Family is another one I really love. And then the last one I'm going to do for honorable mention is That's So Raven. Love that one, grew up with it. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the top 25. Starting in at number 25, I have the show El Internado. Let me scoot over a little bit so maybe I can pop some pictures up. El Internado is a Spanish TV show. It's one that I really love. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it is anymore, but it's one of, I had to include at least one Spanish language TV show because I'm a Spanish teacher and they have some really great shows in different Spanish speaking countries. This one in particular is from Spain and it's about these kids and they live in this mysterious forest and all this weird stuff starts happening. Some of their classmates die and there's something mysterious and weird and evil going on at the school. So really, really good. If you don't mind reading subtitles, I definitely recommend it. Next, at number 24, and this is the one I left off my list the first time, and I just could not leave this off of my list. And it probably really should be higher, but like I said, these are not really ranked in any order, but it is SpongeBob SquarePants. I know. Still to this day, I will go back and watch some SpongeBob cartoons. SpongeBob started out, came on first in 1999, and I was born in 1994, so I really grew up with it since I was very young. I've always remember watching SpongeBob, me and my sisters, and it still is solidified so much into my life that I will put it in my top of all time. I don't really love newer SpongeBob, but I will go back and watch some of the older episodes, like for sure. And then coming in at number 23 is another cartoon from my childhood that I still enjoy, is Dexter's Laboratory. I had to put it on here. I'm a person that I really like cartoons, so you will notice a lot of cartoons on this list, and I couldn't leave them off. I just couldn't. But Dexter's Laboratory was one I always found really nice. It wasn't on my top 20 when I made this list, but now that I expanded to 25, I decided to put it on there. Next at 22 is Everybody Hates Chris. Now this one is one I really like. I think it's hilarious. I love a good laughing comedy sitcom type of TV show. It has to really be funny though to make me laugh, and I think this one really hits the right notes. Coming right after that, number 21 is Parks and Recreation, another one I really love. I love that kind of mockumentary or mocku-series type thing that Park and Recreation had, and it obviously was borrowing from other shows like this, but I really think that, oh gosh, I'm not going to remember her name, the main protagonist woman, I'm forgetting her name, the actress name, but she's hilarious. She's hilarious. Is it Amy Poehler? Amy something. I think it's Amy. She's hilarious. I love her. I think she's funny in a lot of stuff, and I really think the show is excellent. It's excellent. It's excellent. Parks and Recreation has some of like the best characters. Like everybody in the show is funny. I just love every single character, and the fact that you can have every single character be funny, that's a feat. That's a feat. And a lot of the shows on here that are like sitcoms or funny or those type of shows, it has to really hit. Every character has to really hit for it to be on my list. Oh my god, you guys, I forgot to put Friends. Friends should definitely be in the honorable mention. Let me just throw that out there. Okay, let's keep going with the top 25 though. Number 20 is going to be Tom and Jerry. Like I said, you will see a lot of cartoons on here. And I should have put Scooby-Doo on here as well, but I'll put that in the honorable mentions. But Tom and Jerry was the one I decided to go for older cartoons because I just feel like it hits it for me. There's not even any dialogue in it, and I can still enjoy it, put it on. And sometimes I'll even put on older cartoons like in the background when I'm working. Is it like a comforting thing? I don't know, but it's just, yeah, I love it a lot. And definitely I think it deserves to come on number 20. Number 19 is going to be Family Guy. Of the adult cartoon genre, it's my favorite, or maybe one of my favorites for sure. I do have another one on this list that's going to come later, but Family Guy has definitely done it right for me. I haven't watched any of the newer seasons, but for sure the older seasons. Number 18 is going to start some of my foreign shows coming up from 18 up to 15. So number 18 is a show called Humsafar. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly, but it is a Pakistani drama, like a romance, dramatic, kind of soap opera-ish vibe, and it's a really good show about this girl and boy, or man and woman more so, who happen to be also cousins, which cultural thing. You gotta, sometimes when you're watching things from other cultures, you gotta put away your kind of preconceived notions of what is society. But they get married because of their parents, and they don't really like each other at first, but it shows how they fall in love, and also how they have to overcome some struggles with their families not getting along, and there are kind of some nefarious things going on. Really, really good show. I would recommend if you're interested. I think it was on Netflix for a while. I don't know if it's still there though, but really, really good. If I have to say, if you ever want to see a foreign show, definitely dip your toe in. That's a great one. Number 17 is a Korean drama called Empress Key. Is a historical drama. I really love historical dramas and shows and books because I really love history. I'm kind of a history buff. I love learning things about the past and different cultures and how they've you know, how their royalty system was, or how the people in everyday life lived in, you know, hundreds of years ago. And so Empress Key is a great one. It's about a Korean woman who rose up in the ranks and became actually the Empress of China, which was basically unheard of because China and Korea, obviously, back in those times, were separate kingdoms, but China was kind of like the big dog over Korea. So they sent this woman as kind of like a slave or tribute, and she ended up becoming the Empress of China. So really interesting. Of course, it's highly dramatized. It's not exactly historically correct, but I love it. And it was actually during the time in China when it was ruled by the Mongolian Empire, or Mongol Empire, something like that. Moving on to number 16 is the show Scarlet Heart. It is a Chinese drama. There was a Korean remake, but I'm talking about the Chinese original one. I absolutely love this show. It's about a woman that goes back in time, and she ends up going into the body of this woman, and it's during the Qing Dynasty. I hope I'm saying that right. And she ends up falling in love with the next emperor, who is the fourth prince, and there's all these princes and all this fighting for the throne, and eventually one of the princes becomes the emperor, which she already knew this because it was history and she was from the future, and she ends up falling in love with him. But you know, a lot of stuff happens. It's a really, really great drama, and with a really amazing soundtrack as well. So definitely recommend that. And then right at number 15 is another foreign drama. It is called Liar Game. It is a Japanese drama that you really got to be a little pay attention really closely to it, because it's kind of like a almost mind-boggling show where the two main characters get involved in this game where you basically have to lie and figure out all these like hard tasks in order to win this game. And this girl kind of goes into debt because of this game, and she has to play it. She has no choice. It's a whole thing. Really, really good. Excellent show. All right, let me stop talking so much. Number 14 is Ally McBeal. I love this show because I think every single character, this is another one, I think every single character in it is great. They have some great moments. All of them are not like extremely funny, but most of them are in this show. Like, they're just all the weirdest characters. And it's about a law firm, and we're following the main character, Ally, played by Calista Flockhart. Love her. This is like iconic. 13 is The Office. Like I said, if you're funny, it had to be every character. In this one, I feel like every single character in The Office is funny in some way or form and absolutely kills their roles. I just love this show. Steve Carell is hilarious as well. Number 12 is going to be The Twilight Zone. This is one I go back to at least once a year and just go through and watch all the episodes, and or watch my favorite episodes, and there's some really great ones that I really love. I'm going to definitely do a video of my top Twilight Zone shows, and even though it's in black and white and a lot of people might not find value in that, I find that this is one of the best anthology kind of mystery thriller and elements of horror as well TV show of all time. In my personal opinion, I think it's the best of all time with that sort of format, and I don't think anything comes close to it, and I think it's amazing. Number 11 is going to be Game of Thrones. Although a lot of people got soured on the show the last season, and even I will say that it was a little bit disappointing, I still think it's one of the greatest shows of all time. Even just the first like 5 seasons alone are just some of the best TV, in my opinion, of all time. And there's no wonder that this is one of the most pirated shows in the world. I just think it's amazing. Yeah. Nothing else to say. Number 10 is going to be Star Trek, the original series. This was another one that I think, while not the best quality, I mean, it did come out in the 60s or something like that, and albeit a little cheesy sometimes, I think it's really, really fun, and it really spawned a whole generation of other shows, and also so many different variations of this show. So Star Trek is one that I've always loved, and funnily enough, it reminds me of Star Wars, but I've never seen those movies. All right, coming in at number 9 is another cartoon that I love in my childhood, but also think translates really well to adulthood in a way. Rocko's Modern Life. I go back and watch this one all the time, and I just think it's one of the best cartoon shows that is for kids, but also kind of really good for adults in a way. And you can kind of more get the context, hidden context meanings of a lot of the jokes and stuff in this show. Another one is Courage the Cowardly Dog. This is the show that really This one and another one I'm going to mention really inspired me to start loving horror, and they were kind of like the baby steps, because Curse of the Cowardly Dog had some episodes that were very kind of creepy, you know, put a little fear in the young heart, and I still to this day will go back and enjoy episodes of Curse of the Cowardly Dog. Number 7 is going to be That 70s Show. Again, a show that every single character is funny to me, has to be on this list. I think everybody plays their part amazingly in this show, and it's just one of my favorites. It's one I can go back and rewatch. All of these shows on this list have a high rewatchability factor for me. If I can go back and I lose interest very quickly. If a show, number one, is good enough for me to finish it, that's already a plus. But if I can go back and rewatch it, that's like that's amazing. So for sure, the 70 Show is one I've rewatched a lot. Number 6 is going to be Goosebumps, another one I go back and rewatch a lot. I have fond memories of this one. Honestly, it's not very well done or acted, to be honest. But as far as the TV show, I have fond memories of watching it when I was a kid, starting in kindergarten. Me and my older sister, who's 9 years older than me, she really loved it. And then I really loved it as a kid. And she's a lot older than me, but we would watch it together and connect with it. And still to this day, even though, like I said, as an adult, I look at it and I'm like, wow, I don't remember it being this bad. But as a kid, you don't realize that stuff. Now as an adult, I realized, pretty bad acting, but I still enjoy it. It's something that's just enjoyable for me. I go back and watch them still. To this day, I'm so glad they put it on Netflix. I don't know. Do you guys still watch the Goosebumps series? I see something nostalgic about it. I love it. All right, I have my top 5 here, which, again, like I said, this list is not very ordered. And my top 3 are really, though, my top 3. But number 5 is going to be Malcolm in the Middle. Again, a show that is hilarious. Everybody in the show is playing their parts so well and are so hilarious and so funny, and it's like this dysfunctional family almost reminds me of my family, or like a normal family. It's very relatable but funny at the same time, and I just loved it. And I really also connected with the character of Malcolm, because I feel like he's like me, exactly personified for a TV show, like the smart one, but also kind of like the rebellious or kind of bad kid, like not bad kid, but like my way, I'm gonna do it. And I was like a little gang with my sisters. Like we were all in a similar age, and we would just do stuff to be doing stuff. Like I don't even know how we got away with a lot of stuff we got away with, but also being like the smart one, the one expected to get the good grades, that was always me. So I always connected with that show a lot. Number 4 is another adult cartoon that, chef's kiss, I really love, Futurama. You might be thinking, The Simpsons. I never watched The Simpsons that much. I've watched a couple episodes here and there, but I've never watched The Simpsons that much. So Futurama is my other adult TV show besides Family Guy that I've always watched and loved. And there's something about Futurama, I just love the concept of it. It's unique, I think, and it's also very funny, in my opinion. And then here are my top 3 that are literally really my top 3 shows of all time. There's something I connect with these shows the most, and also I just rewatch them. I never get tired of them, and they're the best. So number 3 is going to be Avatar: The Last Airbender. I just love this show, and I feel like a lot of people love this show, whether they be younger or older. I definitely grew up with this one. I watched it when I was in 8th grade and binged it, loved it, connected so much with the series. And I feel like as an adult, I see people going back into and watching this for the first time and loving it still. And I feel like it's great that I got to watch it when I was younger, but I've also rewatched the whole series as I've been getting older. Like I'll go back to it every year or every couple years more so, and I can watch it with my younger sister. She's watched it, I've watched it with her, and I just love this show so much. I've actually never seen The Legend of Korra. And then number 2 is going to be an anime, which is Inuyasha. I do like animes here or there. I think it's a really great genre, and I have a whole list of anime shows that I could probably pull out and talk about, but this one is the one that it has never left my heart, for sure. Like I started watching it also in 7th grade. I watched it in 7th grade. That was the first time I've ever seen it, and since then I have rewatched it so many different times. I've probably lost count at this point. I think it's one of the best shows I've ever watched, period. No matter the genre. It has action, it has romance, it has funniness, comedy, it has drama, it has happy times and fun times and sad times, all mixed up into one great old ball, and I absolutely love it. I love the action parts of it, I love the romance parts of it, I love the dramatic parts, and I think it's one of the best shows and best stories of all time. And then my number one, this is probably the best show. I don't know how something so perfect could have come into existence. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This is the funniest show I've ever seen in my entire life. Nothing so far has topped it, and I don't know if anything ever will, but it is just one of the most perfect shows ever. It is freaking hilarious. Every single character in here, it's like they just completely changed into a whole different character, and it's amazing. I've rewatched every single season multiple times. My favorite seasons, I don't know, I think starting at like 3 up to like 8 or 9, that is like the golden part. But I have to say maybe 5, 6, and 7 are like my favorite seasons. I just love those characters, like Charlie, Dennis, Dee, Mac, Frank. Those characters are just freaking hilarious, and I don't think there's a bad, like, there are episodes that are worse than others, but literally I could watch this show so much I could probably read you back the freaking lines that they're saying. It's just so hilarious, and even the episodes that are bad are still good. They're still funny, they're still watchable, and it's no episode in here. Now, this is the type of show though that the humor is a bit much if you get easily offended. I don't let it bother me. I feel like they're poking fun at everybody, honestly, and that's what makes it funny. It's just like they go that extra step. I just love this show so much. It's the best show I've ever, like, it's so hilarious. Like, the fact that I've rewatched this show that much lets me know that this is the best show for me of all time. If you've never seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you should definitely watch it. And any show on this list that I've mentioned in this video, I would definitely recommend. They're all amazing. They're all good. I'm probably missed something. I'm pretty sure I will. I probably will, turn off this camera and want to refilm this again for the third time because I forgot something that I love. But maybe I'll do a part 2 because or separate them into different categories, because I can do like sitcoms or dramas or action, like the different genres of TV shows, maybe another time, cartoons, etc., because there are some more that I definitely could add to this list. But let me know your favorite shows of all time down below, maybe your top 20 or top 5, whatever you want to say, down in the comment section. I would love to hear. If you like this video or you got something out of it, give it a thumbs up. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will check you guys out in the next video very, very soon. Stay safe. Adios.